Deadly storms hit the South and Midwest again. We had over 30 people killed this last weekend in tornadoes and many, many more wounded and injured. This morning with Coffee with Alain, I want to talk a little bit about staying safe after tornadoes. In a previous episode, we discussed being prepared and staying safe from tornadoes. But today I want to talk a little bit about staying safe after tornadoes during that aftermath and cleanup. First and foremost, if you're trapped, you need to be rescued. Bang on walls, bang on pipes. Be careful moving around that you don't have something else, fall on you. But sometimes if people can't get to you, it's going to be on your own. But if you can make noise and attract attention for people to help, that's important. If you have some kind of cloth or something that you can cover your face to protect your mouth, nose, eyes from dirt and dust and inhaling stuff, that will help you as well. And people have survived a long time trapped before rescue workers could get to them. So you have to have that survival mindset that you're going to survive. You're not going to give up. You're going to stay alive until help arrives. And you're going to do what you can to help yourself as well. So that's very important. Good morning, Jay. Appreciate you being here. You have to check for injuries on yourself and those around you. Sometimes people will be injured in a traumatic event and they won't even realize they're hurt. And so you need to assess yourself and others for injuries and treat injuries. That's always going to be one of the first things you want to do. Stay informed. Listen to radio, listen to the emergency broadcasting type systems, listen to emergency managers that are on site, listen to them, do what they instruct. Don't go into certain areas if they don't want you to go there. Go assist if they're calling for volunteers and you can go help others. Okay? But pay attention to other storms, other dangers that could be there. Be careful around damaged buildings, whether that's your home or another building. There can be structural damage, there can be electrical damage, there can be gas leak hazards. So you need to be careful around your home and buildings for these hazards that were created by the storm and they're still dangerous right now. Help others, regardless if they're calling for volunteers. Everybody in these kind of situations needs to come together and help each other get through it. And after such a terrible event, there is so much to be done that it's very important that we need to help others. Jay says good points. Thank you, Jay. Have to be careful with food and water. After a storm, food and water can be contaminated. So ensure that what you're drinking, what you're eating has not been contaminated. If power went out because of storms or a tornado, and something spoils, if storm water gets into the supplies. So you need to be very careful because you don't want to survive a storm, survive a tornado, and then be put into the hospital because of contaminated food or water. So make sure that we have safe drinking water, safe food. And you just have to be careful and be safe when you're cleaning everything up. It's horrendous. If you have been to one of those sites, or even if you've seen them on TV, you can't imagine the destruction that happens. And that takes a lot to clean up. And you have to do so carefully because there are hazards and dangers during the cleanup. Dixon says, yes, triage is very important. And we have to take care of the wounded and the injured. And again, some people will not recognize they're hurt and they can be seriously injured and because of the shock, not realize it. So it's very important to assess injuries on yourself and others and then take care of those injuries first and foremost before we start doing everything else. And another thing we need to look at is emotional health of different people. Everyone is going to be affected differently by something like that. Losing your home, losing loved ones, seeing the mass destruction, that takes its toll on everyone's emotions. And people are going to deal with that differently, but we must make sure that we take care of people's emotional health and that well-being, especially young kids. We need to see people through and get them the assistance they need in that area too. That can cause severe damage to people's psyche and such. So we need to take care of the emotional and the mental health as well as the physical injuries as we help one another clean up the terrible destruction that these storms cause and create. Thoughts and prayers go out to all of the families suffering this last weekend and the previous weekends when I talked about these. There were over 25 people killed a couple weeks ago. There were over 30 killed this weekend. Mother Nature can cause mass destruction. We need to do the best we can to be prepared for these types of situations. We need to have our tools and our kits ready for an emergency. But then we also have to stay safe after the storm is done, when we're doing the cleanup, when we're helping the wounded and the injured, when we're getting our lives back together. Hope this helps you think about some things that you need to do if you're in that situation. Hope you're not, but for those that are, thoughts and prayers go out to you. And I know that there are a lot of people in those areas that are helping, and thoughts and kudos to them, and a big thank you for all of those that are out there helping those that have had their lives uprooted and destroyed by these terrible storms. That's what I wanted to share this morning. Going to say goodbye and make it a great day. Appreciate everybody joining Coffee with Alain. Hope some of these safety tips help you be more safe so we can get on to enjoying life. Take care. We'll see you tomorrow.